And here's the crazy hammer thing, and literally a hammer. This is the weird thing about that movie is it is a Warhammer 40K prequel. I don't know
Really?
what Warhammer. I don't play it, but
Yeah.
it's a huge thing. People that play
I've heard of
Warhammer.
yeah, I've
So
heard of it.
What's a prequel?
Event Horizon, the
Oh,
movie,
weird.
is actually in the lore of Warhammer 40K.
Oh, weird.
So it's supposed
That's like when Bethesda would sneak stuff into Fallout 1 and 2.
yeah, supposedly Event Horizon is the crossing, like whatever it went through in the black hole, like or yeah, obviously the Event Horizon, whatever it saw, opened like the rift to cause the Warhammer
Ooh,
40K war.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
and
gotta get into that.
that's from the director and the writer. Like they actually like knew that when they were doing it. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but as creepy as that movie is standalone, and as important it is to me as a person like loving sci-fi horror, uh, I don't play Warhammer, but I think that's fascinating, and it makes it more interesting to me.
hmm I gotta get into that. I gotta read about that because I love that movie. I'm gonna have to dive a little bit more into it. Oh, on today's episode of Fishbowl, we will be covering a lot of weird topics. I cannot remember the last time we did a fishbowl. I think we're on 13, 13 or 14. Or it might not even be that. It might be 12. Doesn't matter. We got plenty of topics that we're going to cover. Most of them, I will say this right now, are videos. Not like, I'd say like 30-40% of them are videos. So I'll be sending those into the Discord. You as a listener, if you want to check them out, we will toss them there. We will describe what we're watching pretty in depth. So if you don't have the ability to watch it, don't worry. But on that note, we're going to spin the wheel to see what the first thing we're going to be talking about. And it is okay. This one, this is more about what are your thoughts on this? All right. So it was again, most of these things that I get for the fishbowl are on Reddit, and this one that I saw, it it I thought it was pretty. I'm not going to say clever, but I thought this would be a pretty messed up thing if it were to happen. Um, 2 seconds. It's loading right now. Okay, so it's a torture method. Okay, this has not been done, but someone made a drawing of it, and it's just like a stick figure on a treadmill, and the treadmill is about the size of a room, right? Just a normal sized room, and the floor is sandpaper, like a sandpaper treadmill. All right. And it's definitely not the worst, but I've been tooling around with the idea of a torture method where a victim is placed naked in a metal room with a rough grit sandpaper belt floor. The idea of the floor is moving very slow 24/7. The victim would have to walk constantly to avoid being scrapped. Eventually, they would they would tire and pass out, but they would keep, obviously the paper would keep going, and then they would hit the wall if they fell asleep and start scraping against their flesh. This would wake them up and keep them in agony until they would bleed out days later or something. What are you guys' thoughts on a on a sandpaper room torture method?
Don't they do that in Guantanamo already?
Guantanamo Bay got shut down.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know what my first thing is that I think of is Jamiroquai,
I'm not
Virtual
familiar.
Insanity, the music video. Entire room is on a conveyor belt and he's dancing.
What band and what song?
Jamiroquai, you guys are so young. Yeah, look up Jamiroquai, virtual insanity and you'll see some of the best dancing you'll ever see in your entire life. It's all done on a conveyor belt in a room where even the furniture is moving. Like the furniture is moving and he's dancing around it. So
All right, say what is this again?
it's the song is called Virtual Insanity. If you look that up, you'll find it. So because I'm not gonna spell Jamiroquai to you.
All right, let's see
And the
here.
song is really good. I actually really love the song.
Still trying to find it real quick.
Ah,
Okay, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, but sandpaper on the ground. So I feel like this person is a little uninspired
But
because
they took what this person was
yeah,
doing.
you would have to have that entire setup to do that torture method. Who is gonna actually do that setup for a, other than like Saw? Like if you do, you know,
Mm,
if it's in a Saw movie, Tobin
I
Bell, I
mean,
guess, in it,
maybe
but
they were watching the Saw movies and that's where they drew their inspiration from.
they just love Jamiroquai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like we gotta develop a torture method with this. My favorite band.
But now I will say on the actual thing, yeah, that is a terrible, terrible torture method because every time you get tired and you get pushed to the wall, you're gonna get, raw dogged basically. You're gonna get all your you're gonna get rubbed off all like wherever you're at. You sit, you lay down. So you're eventually gonna get flesh taken off because you're gonna get to the wall. So
Yeah. I thought it was.
so
I
yes,
thought it was. Yeah. I thought
it's
it would be.
terrible.
I thought it was. Yeah. I thought it would be. It would pretty be. It would be one of the worst. Not maybe one of the worst, but it would be definitely painful psychologically. It would be, I think, worse
Yeah,
than like
psychological and
physical.
it's actually physically painful, and it's gonna take a long time to die
That's what I
if
mean. Yeah.
yeah, if the goal is to kill you, it's gonna take a
Yeah.
long.
That's like it. It wasn't too long ago. What, maybe 3? Well, okay. So when just we as a human race, we like, I mean, shit, we still do it, but like that was the norm for like punishments. Like, okay, we don't really do like shit like that so much publicly now, but like that was like what was it, the Bronze Bull. The guy
Mhm.
made that thing, and then I forgot for who, but then he's like, all right, let's test it out on you, put him in there, and then yeah, that would be
Yeah,
just torture in general.
I was getting pressure cooked basically alive,
Yeah.
like steamed.
Yep. Ugh.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. There's some terrible execution methods. Crucifixion should not be overlooked. It is a terrible way to go because most people think like you're just nailed to a piece of wood and you bleed out or whatever. No, it's actually a method of suffocation, like a prolonged suffocation.
Well,
Because
and
they're
starvation too, right?
yeah, starvation if you made it that long.
Yeah.
It's meant to be it's meant to hang your arms above your clavicles to prevent your diaphragm from getting oxygen to your lungs.
Oh.
So it's much more like everyone thinks it's just like, oh, you're like nailed to a cross and you bleed out or you starve. No, you actually are. It's actually a very complicated execution to where uh, if your hands are up here and it's above your clavicles, your lungs, your diaphragm can't actually fill up your lungs. So think about like, I mean, I hate to say it, like when Navy SEALs do like when they do like the log, like holding or even the raft thing when they're doing it as a group. It's meant to build up actual lung capacity and everything and like air and things like that. You have to like the way you do that is actually because you have your legs. Crucifixion, they take your legs away from you. That's why they nail your feet like at a angle, so your knees are bent, and you can't like what the whole purpose of crucifixion is that you want to try to lift yourself up so that your chest cavity can expand and you can breathe. But then you have to release because you're you're weak down there, and then if eventually if you're not actually succumbing to it, what the Romans would do is they just come and break your legs. They just hammer you. They literally hammer you at the knees.
And not to
And then-
mention the pre-torture.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And well, I mean, not a lot of people got that. That was varied based on the crime.
Oh.
So
Oh.
sometimes crucifixion by itself was just like the death sentence. But
What about didn't the Brits, what did they call the wheel thing? Was that the rack?
the breaking wheel. Well,
Yeah,
there's the rack.
that's
There's the rack, and there's the breaking wheel. Those are two different methods
okay.
of torture.
Oh.
So, the breaking wheel is also awful.
Yeah.
Where they basically break all four of your limbs, and gosh, you just kind of waste away. That's an ugly one. Crucifixion is almost a almost a blood
Yeah,
moon.
the photos or the images when you put in the breaking
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, it's
Are they-
ugly.
Are they pretty
Pretty
intense? Yeah.
Pretty rough. I don't this drawing of this
They're all
dude.
they're all hand drawings because there's no photos, obviously.
Yeah.
Of the breaking
Yeah.
wheel.
Oh man, that guy's got it rough. Huh. He's
Oh.
been wrapped around that thing like a pretzel.
I mean, okay. Well, we can move on from the torture method stuff. We'll try to get onto some
We can
lighter.
do a whole episode on torture methods.
I want
I
to
mean-
see the difference between the rack though. Oh, that's the rack.
Yeah, the rack is actually meant to break ligaments and induce confessions. It's not a killing method.
This guy just looks like he's having his back cracked.
I could use that actually.
Yeah, this photo actually looks really good. I'm gonna put it in
Well,
stuff
that
across
could
the
be
internet.
confession.
Now it just looks really nice.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying this particular photo. I'm not saying the torture method.
He's smiling in it. They shouldn't have made him
He
smile.
just looks like there's. He's like, finally some relief. That L6 was driving me
Yeah,
nuts.
Exactly. You know that pop when it happens, and you're just like, "Oh, that was it."
Why does Chrome do this stupid thing where it won't let you save? It says WebP file. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's just on you. I think they don't want you looking any further.
Are you saying that my Chrome has filters?
Yeah, but I don't have that problem.
Okay. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna eventually put this in the thing, so don't worry
we'll
about it.
save torture episode because that's gonna be a whole episode. We can do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I already spun the wheel. The next thing is lab grown meat. I can't wait to hear your guys' opinion on this one. Obviously we've kind of all known for a while that they're trying to make lab grown meat, right? But from madmaxworld.tv, they're saying that lab grown meat could cause cancer and is actually worse for the environment than normal beef. What are you guys thoughts on that? What do you guys think about lab grown meat? For it, against it? Yeah. Would you try it if someone was like, hey, try this lab grown meat?
If there was if it's like how they culture stem cells, I mean they're growing vats of cell tissue that would culture. I would think that it would. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that there were studies about it being toxic. But I always thought like, okay, if they could replicate like Wagyu to where a slab of meat had like muscle tissue and fat tissue perfectly grown for like its that would be kind of cool. I would try it, but I didn't know anything about that toxic stuff when I thought that.
Yeah.
Like I've thought like it would be cool to grow cows, like genetically alter cows to where they're grown without heads, and they just grow them in labs, and that we eliminate
we
the suffering aspect. I feel like we did
talk about this. I think because I think it was like the consciousness of an animal. I think we were going into a deep dive there of like
Maybe.
I think it was like just humanely growing meat in a way. So like if an animal didn't have a head, is it really alive? Is it really torturing it?
Yeah, it almost is like growing a plant at that point. Like if it doesn't have a brain, central nervous system, I guess it would have to have, but it wouldn't be connected to anything. If there was some way to do that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they try this with chickens?
I mean, there is the chicken Miracle Max.
I know
Miracle
him.
Mike.
I know. I don't know how to feel about that story. He must have had just the right amount of brainstem left or something. That's just wild.
I don't know. I'm also looking at livescience.com, and it says of September 2022, according to the US FDA, there are no current food products made from cultured animal cells available to buy on the US market, but that's not saying that there won't be in the near future.
Well, what about the celebrity meat? I thought that was that whole movement.
What is celebrity meat?
Where, okay, like if you're a super fan of Taylor Swift or whatever, or some rapper, they donate some of their like a cell culture, and then in a lab they replicate that particular celebrity's meat that the fans can then buy and eat. There was a thing.
Get the fuck out of here! What?
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
You're serious?
I'm not joking. I know it sounds crazy.
I love Taylor Swift so much. I just want to eat the butt.
Well, the thing is that the conspiracy theory people went
it's like the real thing.
They went nuts over it because they were like, oh, this is part of ritualized whatever. This is part of like the celebrity's ritual or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
here we go. I don't know if this is the actual site, but I'll put it in there. It's in stuff across the internet. Let me double check this. Yeah, but I put it there. So celebrity meat, don't just watch your favorite actors eat them. Bite Labs might just have one of the grabbiest landing pages we have ever seen. Picture above. Eat celebrity meat. Bite Labs grows meat from celebrity tissue samples and used to make how do you say artistic, but art with the AL at the end. Clark, help me out. Artisanal. Artistical.
I'm assuming artisanal.
Yeah. Anyway, artistic salami. So anyway, how could you not click for more? We did. Here's what we found, citing the Winston Churchill 1931. I have to go to the actual site. So anyway, yeah, there was a thing at some point about celebrity meat. So yeah, what are your thoughts on celebrity meat? Would you do it? Do you have a favorite celebrity that you would like to eat?
Are you asking us, or is that in
I'm
the
asking
website?
you. Well, no, that was me asking you.
No, there is no. That's cannibalism.
But it wasn't from a person that was conscious. It's just meat at that point. I mean, have you ever picked a scab as a kid and eaten it? Same thing.
That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing. A scab is dried blood. I mean, that
James Franco, he's sexy, he's arty. Let's make him salami. The Franco salami must be smoky, sexy, and smooth. Franco's meat will pair well with lean, strong venison. Sharp, I don't even know what that word is. Peppercorns and caramelized onions provide Franco's underlying flavors, complemented with charming hint of lavender. The Franco salami taste will be arrogant, distinctive, and completely I don't even know that word either. They're using fancy culinary terms.
Go back to it.
It's in stuff across the internet. I put the Franco one. I'll put the Jennifer Lawrence one. I'd eat a little bit of Jennifer
something
Lawrence.
like, it was like something like an AI wrote that. That
Franco
sounds like
salami
something.
is arrogant, distinctive, and completely undeniable. Is all I hear. So
Yeah, there we go. Jennifer
Lab
Lawrence.
grown.
The J-Law salami will be complemented with a mixture of rabbit and pork. A charming and confident flavor profile. The J-Law salami is coarse ground in a rustic style, smooth with notes of honey and spiced with orange zest and ginger. Always surprising, this salami will never fail to entertain. Are we done with the celebrity meat? You guys have weird looks. I can't discern what your looks mean.
I just can't believe this
looking
is a thing. I just don't understand that.
I mean, who was
Some
it?
of the other things though down there at the bottom, like if you go to the bottom, look at some of the stuff. Coffee in the future, traceability and sustainability.
Hold on, let me look. I didn't read
Like
that.
coffee is going to disappear.
Coffee. Oh, down here at the
Yeah,
proteins from petroleum pipeline.
smooth versus ridged penne, a COVID-19 pasta drama. Are we taking this seriously?
All right, hold on.
Yeah, is this a real? This isn't real. This is a parody. This is not real.
Yeah.
Okay, there's an article on Bloody Disgusting. Let's see. Disable my ad blocker. No.
Okay, you keep looking up to see if this is real or not.
Okay.
This is a little bit more from sciencefocus.com. Rather than being part of a living, breathing, eating, and drinking animal, cultured meat is grown in anything from a test tube to a stainless steel bioreactor. Cells are acquired from an animal by harmless biopsy, then placed in a warm, sterile vessel with a solution called a growth medium containing nutrients, including salt, protein, and carbohydrates. Every 24 hours or so, the cells will have doubled. Let's see here. Cellular farming doesn't grow cuts of meat with bone and skin or fat marbled through it like a like normal steak. Muscle cells require different conditions and nutrients to fat cells, so must be made separately. When the pure meat or fat is harvested, it is a formless paste of cells. By the first cultured meat served up when have chicken nuggets or burgers. Okay, so rather than it being like if you were to just cut into a piece of steak or something like that, it's just gonna look like goo. Just gonna be cell goo.
Yeah,
it's gross.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and admit I'm reading further into this. It seems like it's not real.
So
celebrity meat.
Oh, thank God.
But the thing is the conspiracy theorists took it very seriously. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I believe that piece.
It has hints of the pink slime from McDonald's. I don't know if either of you remember that.
I do.
Yeah. Pink slime.
I knew someone. I knew someone in high school whose brother worked at a McDonald's like plant, and he refused to eat anything from McDonald's after that working experience. I hear they did take the soy out of the McNuggets though, so they're supposed to be all white meat.
See, that makes you. What were they before?
Pink goo.
You. Mm. Which sounds great
All right.
for your Happy Meal.
Well, that was a good meat section. That was a good
Good meat one.
current events in the meat industry.
Okay, but let's get our final thoughts on that. Would you eat lab grown meat? Yes or no?
If you hadn't have said that toxic thing, I would have been like open to it. Now I'm all skeptical.
Okay.
I would eat it. Here's my thing that we didn't touch on at all, and I wanted to interject was there's no striation in the meat because there's no muscle activity for the animal. So the meat itself would be very weirdly kind of bland cut. Like I don't even know really what it would look like. So
I just had this sorry.
No, but that was the thing was like when you were talking about like headless cows and stuff like that, I was just like if they're not able to actually walk around and do stuff, there is no striation in the meat because there is no actual muscle activity. So you're eating muscle. You're eating muscle and some fat. You're not eating just like a mass of something.
So
but
you're saying that the striations like wagyu, you're saying all that fat striations wouldn't be a thing?
Yeah, well, I'm saying that you can't if they could just grow meat like that straight up in a lab. What are they doing? Are they shocking it to get muscle, vibration? Like, what are they doing to actually make it like
they hook them all up to a TENS machine?
Yeah, to look like actual.
There's all these things flopping.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, and that's a horror movie right there in its own right. It's just a whole lab of like meat.
Welcome to the Midwest cow labs, and there's just all these like disembodied things twitching on tables. I mean, here's where we get the striations.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all up for like whatever free lab grown meat that's helping the world. I'm all up for it. But if you throw a steak that's just slapped down and it's just gonna be a slab of meat. It's just gonna be literally it's gonna be like Jello.
And that's what the thing is like pictures of it. It's not like I said, it's not like cutting into like a normal like piece of meat, whether it be chicken, beef, whatever. It's just pink goo, but it is technically meat. It's just the process of making it look like meat that they're gonna have to figure that piece out, because they were saying like you could put it in like burgers or chicken nuggets or something like that, because that's already what that
process
kind of is to a certain degree. Like beef, like hamburgers, yeah, you have like you still have the fat and everything like that in it, but I don't know, maybe a 50-50 blend or something that it could start out with. I don't know.
I mean, it would work with ground beef, like that blend you're talking about.
Yeah. Like a hamburger.
It's better than insects. We're not.
Klaus Schwab, we're watching you.
Here's the thing. Okay, now that we're on the topic of eating insects, I'm not against it. Like I really am not. But what I don't want is I don't want that to be the only option. You know what I mean? Like if there was like hey, here's like a bug burger, of a vegetable burger, or a beef burger, depending on my mood. Like if I just ate like shit the last couple of days, like I'm no kidding. Like when I know like I eat like shit, like I'll be like I need a couple of salads, or like there's the like chicken nuggets, or what is it? It's like the cauliflower fucking chicken nugget things that taste exactly like a chicken nugget, only it's cauliflower, and it's great. I mean, it really is a mind trip biting into a piece of broccoli when it tastes like a chicken nugget. It is weird. It messes with your brain. And I can only imagine that's kind of what this lab grown meat might do, or like the texture of it. But I just want the option, because bugs really are high in protein. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, and there's an abundance of it. So I think why not? Again, however, I want the option. I don't want someone to be like, you only get beef on the weekends, you know?
Yeah,
So,
that's my thing. If there's an overarching like Dr. Evil telling me what I can and can't do, that's my cutoff point. If it was like in the grocery store and everything was normal, I'd be like, okay, I'll try it. I
yeah.
probably wouldn't make a thing out of it. And
Well,
it
so
depends on
like,
how it tastes.
yeah. And see, that's the thing with like milk. Like we have like the normal 2%, or like in our house we'll have normal cow milk. I'll get soy milk or the almond milk, the cashew and oat milk. Like I'll buy them all, because on different days it's like, you know what, I'm gonna try something different. So I just like having the variety, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it seems like, well, do you have more like uses for milk? Because for me personally, I don't like, I drink coffee black.
Mhm.
So I don't use any milk. So we just have 2% here in
Mhm.
my house. That's like all we do. And that's for cereal, for coffee, if my wife wants to have milk in her coffee and stuff like that. Do you actually have like favoritism? Like, do you think I have soy? Like, oh, I can add this to coffee and it's fine. But you would never add like soy to your cereal or something like that.
Are you asking?
Yeah, yeah. I'm asking, like, do you have like favoritism with the different?
Almond.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you keep all of that together, what do you
Mhm.
use the different milks for? Because
Oh yeah,
Also,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like you would use certain milks for certain things.
so yeah, it's not something where it's, let me specify. Let me make that a little bit clearer. So like I don't have like all of the milks. I don't have like 10 different kind of milks, and it's not like,
Okay.
all right, that one today, or that's my milk, that's my cereal milk. It's one of the things where I'll buy a almond milk this time, and I'll
All
use
right.
all of it, and I'll put it in everything, and it's like, okay, this was kind of shitty, or it didn't taste well with this. I'm gonna go back to this one, or I'm going to use this one the next time we go. So I'll finish all of it and add it to like different drinks and cereals and everything like that. So, and like pancakes too, like that's weird. It gives it a kind of a different taste, pancakes, rather than just using normal milk. So, and the only reason why, honestly, is because I'm just lactose intolerant. So I can't have a lot of milk, or I'll just be farting, and my wife gets pissed at me. So it's for her sake too. So,
Oh,
It's
that's
a
fair.
which,
win-win.
okay, another thing, I've heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not. Have you heard that like like as a Western society, are pretty much the only ones that drink milk, or like as humans, we're not supposed to drink milk
Yeah,
because
we're
most of
not.
the world is lactose intolerant?
Yeah, we are actually not supposed to drink milk past like uh as mammals, we're not supposed to drink milk past our like nursing stage.
Then why do we? Like, so
There's
why is that a thing?
a lot of propaganda saying, "Oh, milk makes your bones stronger." Uh, I don't worry, and I drank it all the way. Like I drank milk with every meal up until I was like 12 years old, and that is not a
Mhm.
lie. That sounds crazy. I did it. I drank milk with hot dogs. I drank milk with spaghetti. I did all this. It sounds gross. It sounds disgusting, but that's they literally my parent. But see, my parents are 4 years older than me, and their parents are 40 years older than them. So like I have like generation on generations of like outdated data.
Mm.
So I literally grew up just drinking milk. That was every dinner, drinking milk.
Yeah.
I heard
And
that there was a mutation uh about 2000 years ago in cows in like I don't know, I want to say like somewhere on the other side of the world, and the cow with the mutation uh became the main cow, and then the lack or the when we drink it, the majority of people have allergic reactions to it, but the extremely small numbers of the non-mutated kind, people seem to not have that issue. I've heard something like that, but it may be stupid, like celebrity meat.
Yeah, I don't know how much we can trust you after that celebrity meet, Seth. All right. Well, moving on to our next topic, the Prince Rupert drop. Have you heard of this?
Oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Oh, the glass.
Beautiful and creepy.
Mm-hmm. That I only recently found out about this, maybe a year or two ago. I stumbled across it, and just seeing how tough that piece of glass is insane. So if you aren't aware of it and you're listening, it's essentially a teardrop piece of glass, right? And it is. Let me pull up some information on it. Come on, it's Clark. If you want to talk about it till I pull up the stuff.
Well, I don't want to spoil the ending of it, of like how you can eventually break it, but you basically can't destroy it once it's made. But it's such a odd shape because it's a squiggly shape down to a bulb, and the bulb is basically indestructible, and you can't do anything to it. You can shoot it, you can hammer it, you can do whatever you want, and it's not going to break. But the second you break the tip of its end, where its tail is, the entire thing will shatter like a claymore. Oh, it'll just the entire thing will shatter like at bullet speed. Um, and it's just yeah, it's just a weird physics thing of how this thing exists. So if you've got how, I forget how it's actually formed now at this point, but if you've got the data on it, you can tell them now.
Isn't
Okay.
it molten glass dropped in water?
There you go. So
Yes,
this is
but it's
from.
how it's cooled, isn't it? So
Well, let
Oh.
me see if any of these say it. But this is from Wikipedia.org. So how truthful it is, you might have to look somewhere else. But it's the toughened glass beads created by dropping molten glass into cold water, which causes it to solidify into a tadpole-shaped droplet with a long, thin tail. These droplets are characterized internally by very high residual stress, which gives rise to counterintuitive properties such as the ability to withstand a blow from a hammer or a bullet on the bulb and without breaking, while exhibiting explosive distinguishing oh yeah, okay. So yeah, if you take the tail off the end, even slightly damage it, the whole thing will explode. In nature, similar structures are produced under certain conditions in volcanic lava and are known as peel tears. Oh, okay. So I don't know if that's where they got it from necessarily, like the molten lava, but yeah, these things are just pieces of glass that are tough. It's really cool to, what was it? I saw one under a hydraulic press, and it left the imprints of the teardrop or whatever in the press because it could withstand that pressure. It's insane.
yeah,
That is
it
pretty
is.
crazy. I do like
Yeah.
those hydraulic channels that just crush stuff.
Crush everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
crush a
it's nice.
baseball. Crush. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Hydraulic presses.
every now and then they do it like dangerous, like crush something dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I like the one where there's always something. I don't know. Maybe it's just like the satisfactory part, of like those satisfaction videos where it's like satisfying, like cutting cheese. It's just
Yeah.
like when a hydraulic press like Play-Doh or something like that, and it just goes, bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just something satisfying about that. I don't know.
It was like there was one I saw that was like a whole thick like box of crayons, but it was like a ton of crayons, and it crushed, and there's like little holes on the top of the hydraulic press head, so it all like goes.
Yes. Yep.
There's people that have a phobia about that though, and I can't remember what the
Ooh.
phobia is. And it's
Of
like
those kind of
things,
relaxing.
yeah, oh no, the phobia of things getting pressed through multiple holes.
Oh, trichtophobia.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, if you type in, it's trick. I think it's trichtophobia. It's the holes, like those Photoshop things of people, the palms of their hands or the heel of their foot, and there's like someone Photoshopped like hives, like a beehive into it, multiple holes, and people freak out.
Yeah.
Trichtophobia, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't Google that.
This next one that we're going to be talking about, I'm going to drop it into the follow this link. That'll be a good one. Okay, so this next one, is that the right one? Did I put the right one? Did I follow this link? Yep, it's the right one. Okay, so yeah, this next one that we're gonna be talking about, you just gotta click follow this link in our Discord. You'll see it, but it's called Putting a Chicken to Sleep. I'll let you guys watch it and then we can talk about it.
Weird. I know you know what's funny? This reminds me of when Al Gore was talking about how he could hypnotize chickens with his finger.
What?
This reminds me of that. Yeah.
No
And
way.
He was from Tennessee.
Yeah. He's still here.
Yeah, Al Gore's from Tennessee, so he'd probably know something like this.
It just doesn't,
right.
of all the things he says, it just doesn't look great.
Oh, look at that. Oh, did you watch it all the way to the end?
Whoa.
Yeah.
He wiped it. Weird.
Watch it all the way in.
Yeah. That's strange.
I don't know how that is possible. So again, if you don't have the ability to watch it, what it is it's just some backwood guys. They grab a chicken and it's been a while since I've watched the video, but they put the beak of the chicken into the ground and then they draw a line from the beak away, right?
Mhm.
Or what? Yes, and it puts it
Draw
to
away
essentially.
from it.
Yep, they draw a line from the beak going away, and the whole chicken just kind of goes limp, and it just sits. It just sits there. Clark, what happens at the end of the video? It's been a minute since I've seen it.
So at the end of the video, the guy wipes the line away, like where they drew the line in the sand. He wipes it away, and the chicken immediately gets aggressive and like starts getting like crazy again. So it's like as soon as it broke that line, it immediately like woke up and went like immediately alert. So
see
Now-
that, you know what bothers me about all of this is the Fnord thing. It's like there's some biological wiring in a chicken's brain that's that easy to hack. So like the whole Fnord thing, that bothers me in humans.
What's the Fnord thing?
The thing where basically generationally we've been bred to be activated by a certain word, and we use the word Fnord because we're conditioned not to see or hear it when it's presented to us. It only causes a reaction. So like the seven families or the deep Illuminati that's been controlling the world forever have been generationally breeding humans to react to this traumatic word, but only to they start exhibiting erratic behavior. So like for instance, if the news said it, somebody in a particular advertisement or a news broadcast, there would be panic selling of a particular stock, and they've bred this in as a control mechanism to fluctuate economies or start wars or whatever. And we just use Fnord to represent that word since we can't see it or hear it.
Weird.
So this whole thing bothers me with the chicken.
So wait, you're saying that there's a word out there Is it a word that we? But okay, so if they're saying it in the news and everything like that, don't we already know the word?
No, because those people have been conditioned to trigger it, or it would be go on to the news broadcast. It doesn't mean that the newscaster is like in on it. It's just it's slipped into, for instance, their script. So you can read it and say it, but you are not conscious of reading and saying it. So like if I say the chicken went to sleep, I could also be reading of the Fnord word in there, but be completely unrealize I did it, not remember it, not be presently aware of it, and neither are you. But it will trigger like a fear response in you and me.
But wouldn't someone have to type that in?
But they're not aware of it. Like it's
But
disseminated. I don't know how how the word is disseminated through like the ranks of all this. This is what I've heard, and it comes from a book series, but people believe it. So
I just don't know. Well, okay, let's pause. Let's talk about this for a second, because how can someone? All right, let's just use the media, because I think that's a good example. So if the idea is to like, all right, we gotta rile some people up. Let's use the Fnord word, right? But the person, okay, so like the who's ever in charge, like, okay, let's say it's the Illuminati. They're like, okay, let's get them going. How are they gonna just tell the people that
we're
don't know
bred
the word?
to? Oh! I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like, do they have people like implanted into the media and like script writers and like people in politics? Well,
like the way I understand it is that Clerk, you're aware of Succession, the show. Like this old timer, this really small family has all this influence on the next president and the news and all of this stuff. Like imagine if they were the Illuminati and they were aware of all of this, but all the people that work under them are handed a script that they write or someone close to them writes, and it's taken off to be read to the news. So I guess that would mean that the people in the know would have to write the original script, but once it's disseminated, the people reading it and then regurgitating it are still unaware of it, if that makes any sense. So as long as it has a starting point, it's introduced. Like it's like a sleeper. Nobody is aware of it until the only thing it happens is like panic selling in stocks or wars starting or whatever. That's the idea. You're looking at me like you're about to poke holes in my theory. It's not my theory.
Seth, it doesn't work. Clark, what do you think?
No, that is kind of how it works. There.
Yeah.
And it's even sadder with our political, like, bipartisan stuff. So, but yeah, you have people that actually are writing for an agenda, and actually it's the same agenda, and they filter it down, and it goes where it needs to go to, and then people just read it and regurgitate it. So
this reminds me of the movie They Live.
Yeah,
where
that's
like
a good
he
example.
has I haven't seen the whole movie through and through, but like he puts on the sunglasses and it says like obey and bye, and like all of this.
That movie has the best fight scene in it.
Yes. South Park took it.
Was that Cripple Fight?
Yeah.
Jimmy, if you're not gonna listen to me, no babe.
What the fuck? That fight scene, that's a good one. It lasted as long as it should have.
Yes.
I mean Timmy, not Jimmy there. I said it wrong. Timmy, if you're not gonna listen, no babe.
Oh man.
Quick side note though, and I don't know if anyone else has ever caught this. And I've always wondered, like, okay, did the did South Park do this intentionally or not? But what is Jimmy's last name?
Oh gosh, they actually say it eventually. Not in that episode. It's seasons later they actually say his last name.
So in the later seasons, it's Balmer or Volmer, something like that.
Palmer, I think. Is it Palmer? Pal.
Palmer.
I think it's Jimmy Palmer. Yeah.
But in that episode, his name is Jimmy Swanson, not Jimmy Palmer. And at the end of that episode, I think they get Jimmy like kicked out of town or something like that, or he goes away to like jail, or something. He gets kicked out of the scouts, it's something weird. But he leaves, and I don't know if they just were like, oh, whatever, let's just change it to Palmer now. No one is gonna notice. But it's always bugged me. It's like, is there two Jimmys or just one Jimmy? And it's just whatever. But his last name, I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig into the internet to see.
That's
see
weird.
about
Maybe
this.
you've stumbled across something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a deep
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah. There's two Jimmys.
Which one was funnier?
I don't remember that. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't remember.
And I think we have time for one last one. I don't know how long we're gonna be able to talk about this last one, but I want your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Roller derby, the sport
Nice.
roller derby. Because in the 70s, when I stumbled across the video for it, it seemed like it was like the American Gladiators of sports. It was just there's jerseys, there was announcers, there was referees, and it was just like there was a stadium. And how did that die out? I mean, like, okay, granted, yes, there are small, like, roller derby teams. I think women's roller derby, I think, is a little bit more popular than men's derby.
I didn't even know men did roller derby.
Yeah.
That was a thing? Wow.
Yeah. I'll try to find the clip again. I'll toss it in the it's funny.
Didn't Netflix make a show about a female roller derby like drama? It was called Glow or something.
No, that's female wrestling.
Oh,
yeah.
Glow is female wrestling, which is what I'm going to go ahead and say is I think a reason roller derby might have died out is because of professional wrestling growing.
Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I was going to say it might make a little bit more sense because okay, I posted it and follow this link. You guys go ahead and watch it. You tell me how close to wrestling that is.
Like, that's the thing is roller skates are also like such a dated. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, just like, whoa.
So here's my thing about roller derby is, as far as I can tell, the points are arbitrary. Like,
yeah,
who is actually scoring roller derby? Like,
well,
it just looks like you're beating each other up in skates.
Yeah. Right? Like he fucking clothesline, or not clothesline, but he like drop kicks someone in skates.
Boom.
So, like, to me, if this was the 70s, like I said, professional wrestling really took off in the late 80s, well, mid, late 80s, and early 90s. Early 90s became the entire, like, revamp of, like, the characters and everything, and then you get into the late 90s, you get the Attitude Era, and then you get, like, the 2000s, and now it's become, like, a whole thing where people know. I always told people when I ever did talking about horror movies, professional wrestling is like horror movies. Everybody knows it's fake. Everybody is impressed by how you can make it work.
Oh, okay. No.
So it's like people watch professional wrestling now because they're like, oh, it's like I'm interested in how they make the story work, the athleticism, like how it unfolds all this stuff.
Mhm.
But like it's all fake, but it's like there's this
Scripted, yeah.
there's just this like certain amount of theatrics that you're like impressed by. Nobody goes to a horror movie. If you're a horror movie fan, you don't go to a horror movie to be scared. You go to a horror movie to be impressed by how they can make you feel different than everything you've seen before.
I'll say that's true because like even like the new Halloweens, like I love Michael Myers, that whole series. I love it. And I'm not scared by him. I'm interested to see where they take the story next. And that's why it's like even though like the Rob Zombie ones, okay, yeah, they get a lot of heat for being trash, but it's interesting to see a new take on a Halloween series from a different perspective, a different writer director. So I can understand that.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
mean
just
the
say
thrill.
that his movies were trash? You
No,
want to
okay.
clarify that?
No,
No,
Now, the second Halloween was trash. The first one,
no,
I really
even
like
the
the first one.
even the first one, they like a lot of people do not like the Rob Zombie remakes of Halloween. Okay,
That is not the
let me
case in Tennessee. That is a golden oldie in Tennessee.
Rob Zombie Halloween.
Now,
Oh, shit.
2, I'll give you that. 2 is garbage. But the studios interfered. All right.
No, 100%. Now, I'm not saying I don't like it. I thoroughly enjoy it, even with Rob Zombie making it. Um, I like. Let me see.
Did anybody see Lords of Salem?
I
Mm,
wish. But if we're talking Rob Zombie, I'm just gonna go ahead and say House of a Thousand Corpses is one of my
Pretty good.
is in my top like 3 favorite horror movies of all time. So it's a must watch every year.
Did you watch the third installment?
I didn't. I didn't like Devil's Rejects. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, I was okay with it. I won't
Yeah.
say I hate it, but Devil's Rejects. I jokingly called it redneck heat.
Okay, I can see that. Well,
It's more of the
I
like
liked.
getaway movie than it is more of an actual horror movie. So
Yeah, it's rough for different reasons for sure. The third installment I was disappointed with. I like Devil's Rejects, but the third installment like was good, and then the stupid like last quarter of the movie just made all of it terrible. There was one good scene. There was a nice home invasion scene that I enjoyed.
okay, so let me see here. Come on. Okay, just to give you a frame of reference. Oh, come on. Okay, the Rob Zombie Halloween remake gives it an overall rating on IMDb 6 out of 10. Not terrible, right? It's above a 5,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still low on like the 1970s or the 1980 whatever the original Halloween movie, right?
77.
77 has an overall 96%
Because
approval rate.
it's fucking perfect.
Exactly. So it's just like you can't remake a classic like that. And that's why, again, I'm not saying I don't like it. It was cool to see another person's take on it. And even with bringing back, what was it? The Jamie Lee Curtis and the original, like that whole storyline, that movie has a bad score rating for the new Halloween movies too. So
What
I
was the
don't know.
latest one? Halloween Kills? Was that the latest one?
I think it was the
There's
last one.
Halloween, yeah, Halloween Kills. There's one in between that though. Halloween Ends.
Is it?
I
Something
think
like that. Jimmy Lee
yeah.
Curtis two last ones. I remember that. So
Yeah.
Is there one
I'll
more
watch it.
installment, or are they done?
No, that should have been it. That should have been everything.
Okay.
hopefully.
They weren't
just
that
made-
good. I didn't enjoy the new ones.
I really again, I liked the 2018 one. It was cool to see
Yeah.
a different, like, them just taking place right after that 1971, because that's essentially what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
You had the 1970s one, and then they just erased everything, and it was like, all right, this is what, 20 years later or 50 years later. 20, geez, I can't do math. Yeah, fucking 50 years later, what's going on? So I thought it was cool. I thought it was. Now again, I haven't seen the last two new ones, but nevertheless,
I feel like I'm talking about that. Is there a? Yeah, I don't want to give out spoilers. Never mind.
go ahead.
We can just move on.
Just move on.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, this was a while ago, but is there the basement trap in the one that you saw?
that was okay. So that's the 2018 one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was 2018.
Yep. That was 5 years
Man.
ago.
Weird. Okey-doke.
But with roller derby, would you want roller derby to come back?
Yes.
I-
After watching the clip that you sent, I would watch that. Just dudes like clocking each other with their skates. Yeah.
Imagine if they could mix it though with wrestling, where it's like, give them the chair, and like they were rolling around with a chair and just boom.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
okay,
if they made
fair.
it entertaining like that, but yeah, I just
I-
think it's.
I mean-
the scoring and stuff with like roller derby. I'm like, who's winning? I don't get this.
Yeah,
Well, so,
that
like-
I would the scoring thing. I wouldn't pay attention to. I would just be watching the crazy drop kicks.
If you could mix the two, if you could mix like the pro wrestling aspect of it, like where there's a story behind, like that people could follow, with a scoring thing of like actual, like I think that's effing weird roller derby. I think we should come up with a team when we're all close together. We all live close. We will. Do you guys know how to skate?
Yeah, but I don't need those injuries. Those are some serious injuries.
Oh.
I'm trying to.
Break now at this point. Yeah.
I'm
I'm almost 40, guys.
gonna blow out a knee. I'm doing pretty
That's
good
a-
right now.
That's effing weird roller derby team. Can we make a shirt that says that, like roller derby, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
effing weird team?
All right.
Oh,
And all this, like we're gonna make this weekend on That's Effing Weird. We're rolling out some shirts. That's what we're
Are
doing.
we doing it? Are we?
We're doing
this
it.
Weekend?
We're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing what was
Rolling.
I forget what. Sorry, Clark.
I said rolling.
We're rolling them out. What's the idea? We had this idea about the fist. There was going to be a fist, and it was like, I don't know. It was like make Bigfoot great again. It was something stupid like that, but it was really
I
funny in the
remember-
context.
Well,
I
now
remember that.
we need Bigfoot on roller skates with his fist up in the air. and headphones on. Make Bigfoot
man.
make Bigfoot great again.
Yeah, I
If you,
think
the
you put it
listener-
in. You put it in the itinerary of what we've got to do.
Did I?
I think so.
I don't. It's probably not in the spreadsheet, but
All right.
Yeah, okay, so-
I'll dig around tonight.
okay. So if you're listening to this, by the time we have everything figured out, we should have the store open. So go check it out. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll toss a link.
We'll have at
on-
least 3 shirts.
Yeah, 3 shirts to choose from. And then what else was I gonna say? Oh, we're trying our hardest. We have a guest that we just can never get the timeline synced up perfectly. We will eventually, but he has a very interesting podcast. It's called We Live, and it's essentially about a podcast after the zombie apocalypse, and has a really interesting take on it, where every guest that they have on the show dies in the episode. So they have like a 45-minute, hour-long conversation, and at the end of that conversation, they end up dying in some sort of weird way. It's really cool. I've listened to the first 2 episodes. I suggest going and checking it out. We'll get him on here so he can actually explain most of it, hopefully sooner rather than later. But that about wraps up Fishbowl. Seth, Clark, do you guys have anything you want to add to the end of this episode?
Nah.
Skate safe, kids.
Skate safe. That goes on the shirt. Skate safe. All right. Go ahead and check us out on some of the social medias. You know where to find us. And we have that saying, we don't want stuff that's normal. We want stuff that's effing weird.